So the ban was lifted as far as the Iron Front flag goes. You were one of the people that spoke out about, um, just the need to kind of recognize the moment that we are in right now. How did you feel, or how did you find out about the ban being lifted, and how do you feel at the league's decision about the league's decision?
I found out through social media, in contact with some ECS leaders and members, and I'm happy to see us come to the table first and foremost. I mean, it happened last Thursday already when they met in Vegas, and that was already a step in the right direction, because I think communication needs to happen on that issue. You know, obviously, I understand there needs to be policies in place because it can be a slippery slope. Who knows? There's securities that are rules that are in place for reasons, but that rule was just left too vague, and then I think it was fought on an issue that right now is a bit of a hot topic, right? And so I'm really happy that our fans stood up and really fought hard for something that I think is very, very important in this country at this moment. But I'm also very happy that the league made efforts to listen to the fans, and now obviously to lift the ban for the remainder of the season in the playoffs. But I think most importantly for us to keep having an open dialogue, and with people that really know what's going on or are very passionate about it. Obviously, the leadership of all those fan groups. That's very, very important, and I'm very happy to see that, and I hope that something productive comes of those future meetings. I'm also happy that it's not just Timbers Army or ECS, but it's a bunch of those communities all coming together, and I think that really shows that it's something important that needs to be discussed. And again, I can't reiterate that giving the league some props to actually sit down and talk and come to hopefully some agreement.
Usually leagues don't do that. You know, the American leagues sometimes don't listen. Are you surprised at all that they didn't double down as far as this season, and maybe wait till the summer? Or what kind of look does that give to you as a player about this league?
I mean, this is just my own opinion, but I think soccer is a bit unique compared to other sports, because our fans and our crowd and our atmosphere is unique, is different, and so therefore there's something that our supporters bring to the atmosphere, to the experience, that maybe can't be replaced easily.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at an economical standpoint, the league probably realizes that. The most passionate, diehard fans that go out and spend so much money, so much sweat and tears and time, to make these banners, to make these choreographies, all this stuff. It's a huge selling point.
Yeah.
And maybe you're talking about NFL, some crazy fans. If those crazy fans go, maybe some other crazy fans will just come in. But when you're talking about some fans that put in a serious commitment, time commitment, money, again, all that stuff, it's going to be very difficult to replace those. And I also would argue that they're the ones that built this league, and I think it's an acknowledgement by the league that is the case, and that they deserve to be part of this, and that their opinions deserve to be heard, that they have some weight there. So those are all good things. I'm very happy with the progress, and again, the dialogue is for me, the open dialogue. I hope it's obviously it needs to come to something. It can't just be a oh yeah, we'll talk, and then nothing really comes from it. But I think that the fact that people want to sit down and talk is great. I'm happy with that.
Speaking of supporters, there was an incident after the DC United game where a supporter was allegedly assaulted.
Yeah.
Did the team hear about that? And from the player's perspective, do you have any comments on that?
Again, I just heard right away from it on Twitter, and I reached out to ECS president to make sure that everybody was fine. We really appreciate our fans making the trek across country. I mean, we're well supported everywhere, wherever we go, and we appreciate that. So obviously we want to make sure that everybody's safe when they come support us. I've heard there's also efforts being made right now in terms of maybe a fundraiser to help people with the bills that they incurred due to this incident, which is good. But I don't know who attacked our fans or for what reason. If it was just stupidity, I almost hope it was just stupidity and not some ulterior motive with other issues that we're talking about, the anti-fascism, the thing that's going on But I hope that all the clubs do their due diligence to find out what happened. If you can avoid these things, that's great. I know there's policies in place to allow to keep the away fans in a bit longer to cause a little bit of separation, but maybe something else needs to happen to make sure that everybody's safe.
And on the field in that game, Steph, your coach talked about missing Gustav Svensson in the defensive midfield. From your view and goal, how did that defense function with him there in the back four and simply defensively in that match?
Yeah, I think Gustav slotted in quite well as a center back. Lots of experience there and trust in him. I don't think that was really an issue. We were a bit deep, I think, on the first goal. I don't know why that happened, but we kept on creeping back, and then we almost had two lines on top of each other. That's something we needed to kind of nip in the butt before that goal happened. And second goal, a set piece that I think we can do much better on, just in terms of how we set up and how we deal with that overall. But other than that, defensively, I think we were okay. I think goals change games too, right? So when we have our chances in the beginning, maybe if we put one away early on, it's a completely different game. We give up 2 goals again, which sucks. Trust me, I'm the one picking the ball at the back of the net, but you can't just always be defense either.
The group had a couple days rest after the DC game. How are you guys feeling ahead of San Jose?
We had 1 day rest. The other one was a long day back, commercial flight back from DC. But it's people took care of their bodies, stayed away mentally as well. Got massages, got whatever they needed. But now we have a couple days to really go after it and try to get ready for a big game. San Jose is a different beast than what they've been in the years past. I believe I sense that there's a belief in their coach, and that's kind of given him a surge of energy, and a self-belief. You can see that's evident when you watch them play. So they're gonna be dangerous. We're gonna have to bring our A game, be smart defensively, but also be ruthless when we have our chances.
Roman's back. How did he look to you, or what did that do as far as practice goes today?
I didn't practice with the field players today. I had the pleasure of joining the keepers union again, but no, I think he's. I'm assuming he only had limited amounts of opportunity to be with us. There's rules obviously that he had to actually be away from the team. He could not be in our locker room and all that stuff. So it's been difficult to see his progress, but I'm sure he took care of it and made sure he was staying in good shape, going to the gym or maybe even getting touches some other way, make sure that his soccer fitness doesn't deteriorate too much. But yeah, we need all the help we can get. Two huge games coming up, and then obviously playoffs if we can make it, which is the goal. But the West is so tight. We'll see what happens tonight. But we need to get into the playoffs first and foremost, and we'll take all the help we can get.
Steph, it's been a few weeks since your website first opened up there for the artwork. How's that reception been, and how's it going so far?
It's been great. Amazing learning experience. Thinking of art is great, but then you sometimes don't even think about what it means to fulfill an order and what it entails. So I actually just finally finished my last incomplete order yesterday, so everything's checkmarked right now. So hopefully I can get back into the studio and actually paint. But it's been a great learning experience. I really enjoy learning these things, and people have already told me from the beginning, and maybe hire some people and help them do these things, these tedious things for you. But no, actually I want to learn them. I want to know what everything entails, because I think you get a sense of appreciation of what goes into things when you actually know what goes into things. So I've been doing everything myself. I'm trying to streamline things a little bit because handwriting labels is not sustainable. But yeah, great experience, and I want to keep it going. Okay,
so handwriting labels, what else does that process include? Going to Kinko's or FedEx or shipping it yourself?
Shipping prints safely is my number one concern. So when you're talking a size 18 by 30 inches is quite a big size. I can't be shipping out wooden crates. It's not sustainable either. So finding right tubes, protecting the artwork, making sure. Also, the goalkeeper comes through in those things for me too. The attention to detail. Maybe it takes me way longer than it should be, but the label has to be put on perfectly. You know, the "do not bend" has to be put on perfectly. The return label has to be put on perfectly. So next thing you know, my off day is gone.
What's worse, the writing the labels or signing a whole bunch of soccer balls?
None of it is bad. Those are all privileges, right? I mean, like, I get to do things that I really enjoy.
Well, then maybe
Signing
what's harder?
signing autographs is something you should never complain about, because especially when it's for little kids. You know, I remember when I was a kid and I got a signed pair of gloves, and I held on to those until I think there was mushrooms growing on them. That's like the most important thing to me. So I know what kind of impact you can have there.
Yeah.
At the same time, I realize I get to follow or discover another passion of mine without the pressure of having to really make a living off of that at this point. So I really enjoy that too, and I'm very, very fortunate when it comes to that.